Hey, everybody. Did you know that the house always wins? No matter how much money they give away, the house always comes out ahead. When you're an option seller, guess what you are? You're the house. Yes. I come on here. I'm an option seller coach. My name is Arlissa, and I'm here to make sure that you know when you're selling options, you are the house and you are over time going to come out ahead. I'm going to share with you in this video how do you use Robinhood to sell options. We're going to sell covered calls. How do we sell cash secure puts? And in the next video, I'm going to talk more about how do we sell credit spread. So this is a two-part video. Make sure that you watch both parts, okay? Let's get into it. Okay, so let's talk about selling cash secure puts in Robinhood, right? I like Robinhood because it is a very user-friendly platform, very good for beginners, low barrier to entry. You deposit the money. They don't have a minimum deposit required. They give you a questionnaire to get your options level and you're ready to rock and roll. You will need the options level 3 if you're going to trade as a seller. If you're going to trade cash secure puts, if you're going to trade covered calls, if you're going to trade credit spreads, which I'm going to talk about in the next video, but you will need options level 3 for that. There's a questionnaire that it gives you when you want to get approved for trading options. I'll have to do another video. What do you do when you want to get approved to trade options? All right. So let's look at selling a cash secure put. I'm going to select the stock that I like, which is SoFi. Again, not suggesting that you go do anything. I'm not an investment advisor. I'm just saying I like SoFi. So I put SoFi up in the search bar. I will select SoFi Technologies from here, right? I am looking to sell cash secure puts. Over here to the right, once you first go to SoFi, you're going to see buy SoFi and sell SoFi. This is talking about shares. If you want to buy shares of SoFi or sell shares of SoFi, that's where this is. We want to do options, trade SoFi options down here at the bottom right. Now, I am on the platform on my laptop, desktop laptop, right? These same things are also found on your phone, on your tablet. It looks a little bit different when you're on the laptop, but not a lot. It's very, very similar, okay? Robinhood has done a good job of keeping their things looking very consistent. So I'm on SoFi. You've got the toggle buttons up here. I want to sell, selecting sell, and I want to sell a put. Selling cash secure puts is like selling puts. That's what it's called, right? You have your expiration date here, February 14th. Today is February the 11th. And I'm looking at this week's expiration, but you could always drop this box down and find other expiration days, right? We'll actually come back to this in a minute. Here you've got current price of SoFi is $14.85, right? If you're selling puts, you can select any strike that's below the current price. I have an entire training that talks about how to find stocks, how to find your strikes, what's actually happening with the money. I mean, everything to do with cash secure puts. I have a full training on that. I'm not getting into all that in this video. I really just want to show you the mechanics of how to use Robinhood. But if you really want to know how to use a very passive strategy called selling cash secure puts, go over to my website, educator2trader.com, and get that training, selling cash secured puts, all right? But I'm going to select the 14.5. If you want to know more about this particular strike, you can click on it, and more information about this strike pops up. The bid, the ask, you got the mark, high and low, last trade, implied volatility, volume, open interest, and all of the Greeks are here. Right, if you're looking for what is the delta, this is a 0.33 delta on this particular strike at this particular time. All right, when you're ready to enter the trade, though, you're going to go over to the right where you see the money, 0.19, multiply that by 100 shares because every options contract is 100 shares. And this means you're going to receive $19 when you enter this. As a seller, you receive money when you enter the trade. See how it says total credit here? Now, you're going to receive $19. If you agree to the $19, then you're not going to be able to come back later and say, but I think I want more money. No, when you agree to sell something, it's called a contract. When you agree to sell it, that's what it is, all right? If you say, I'm selling this for $19, that's what we're selling it for, is $19, right? Here you've got a graphic that talks about what happens at break even. Where's your break even point? $14.32. Below that, you're losing money, which is where you see this red. And the green, you've got all the way up to $14.50. And above that, your amount is just capped. It's the $19. What's our max profit? $18, $19, depending on what's in the box. Max loss here, it says $1,432. And the reason it says that is because if this stock goes to zero and you're in this cash secure put, then you're going to lose $1,432. But in the case you're really not going to lose that, what you're going to do is acquire 100 shares. If at expiration, the stock price of SoFi is less than $14.50, then the broker, Robinhood, is going to give you 100 shares at the $14.50 price. You're going to receive the shares at that price if the price expires less than $14.50. All right. When you enter this trade, your broker or Robinhood is going to block away the buying power of $1,450. Where'd that number come from? 14.5 times 100 is $1,450. You're not paying anything to enter this trade, but you are reserving the buying power for this trade. So depending on how it goes, as long as this trade is on, that $1,450 is going to be set aside. It's almost like a deposit. You know, when you rent a car or you go to the hotel, you pay a deposit. Same thing. Once you close this trade, your buying power is released back to you. If at the end of expiration, it's less than the price of SoFi is less than $14.50, the broker is going to use that money in order to buy your shares. All right, that's how that goes. We've got $19 here. I'm going to select continue. So you can buy as many options contracts, sell as many options contracts as you want. It populates with one. If you want two, you put it in the box. Notice when you do that, the expected profit and loss is going to change. You put 3 here, it changes 18 times 3. You put 10 here, it's 18 times 10, which is $180. This is telling you how much profit you're going to make based on the number of contracts you're going to enter. You can select good for the day, which says I want to do this. I'm putting on this order and it's good for today. Or you can say it's good until canceled. Maybe I decide $18 isn't what I want for this. I would rather collect $25 per contract. Well, this order will just sit and be working. It'll sit in the working pile or in the working queue until it reaches 25. If it doesn't ever reach 25, the order won't fill, right? Just can't say, I put 25 on it, never did pick up. Well, if it was never worth 25, you're never going to get 25, okay? That's the way that goes. You've got your estimated credit, taking away the 4 cents for your fees. And when you're ready, you can review your order. All right. That's how we're doing cash secure puts. As I said, there's a whole training on my website that includes all the things, right? It includes how do we find our strikes? How do we find our stops? How do we enter? How do we exit? All of those things are on my website, educatortotrader.com. So if you really want to know more about a very passive, cash secure puts is probably the most passive selling strategy. Again, remember, we're trying to be the house. Go over to educatortotrader.com and get access to that training. All right. All righty. That was selling a put or selling cash secure puts. But let's talk about selling a covered call. If you have 100 shares, you can sell a call, right? I'm going to move our toggle. We already have sale. I'm going to change it to selling a call. Basically, this is selling a covered call on my 100 shares. It's a way to get paid for your owning of an asset. You have 100 shares, that's the asset. You can get paid to hold on and lend those shares to the market as a covered call. You can get paid while you wait, all right? You're going to want to know, what is your cost basis? What is your cost basis for your shares that you have, right? If you own shares of SoFi and you own them at $14, then you do a covered call anywhere above whatever your cost basis or your average cost is. You also want to think, do I want to lose my shares, or do I really want to hold on to them? If you're okay with releasing the shares back to the market, then you're going to want to get the strike that's as close as possible. This is the one that's going to pay you the most money. But if you're saying, I have SoFi shares, but I really kind of want to keep them, then that means we need to go up to a higher probability of profit and get further away in price so that we don't have as much concern or worry about losing our shares. I usually go up into the 88, 89. Sometimes I do 85% over my cost basis, but this is because I want to hold on to my shares. I am not selling covered calls just to release my shares back to the market. I'm selling covered calls to make money on my shares while I wait for SoFi to continue to move on up a little bit higher. All right. So let's say I was going to pick the 16 strike. 16 strike is showing a price of $6. That's how much I'm going to make in premiums if I'm selling a covered call at the 16 strike. I'm going to get a total credit of $6. 0.06 times 100 gives us $6. Remember, this is based on you having 100 shares already. You're selling against them. You're taking in a credit and you're saying, I'm fine with this amount of money. I know it's not going to change. If the price expires below $16, you're going to keep your premiums. If the price expires above $16 and you're still in this trade, then you're going to release your shares to the market at the price of $16. This is why I tell you, if you're selling covered calls, you want to sell them at a cost above, or the strike above your cost basis. So if you paid $15 or $14 for them and you sell them to the market for $16, the difference between those two is at least going to be your profits. But if you really want to keep your shares, you want to make sure that you're selecting a strike, or if it gets too close, that you close this trade so that way you can hold on to your shares. Another way to make more money, maybe you say $6 isn't enough, I want to make more money on my shares, then we go out to a later expiration date. Let's go out one more week to February 21st. All right, we're looking here, the $16 strike has an 83% probability of profit. So let's maybe go to 16.5 is our strike price, 88 chance of profit. And here you see there's $10. We're going to collect $10 there as our total credit if we go with that particular strike. Every 100 shares you can use for another covered call. 100 shares, one covered call. 200 shares, two covered calls. And you can stagger them on the dates or stagger them on the strikes. You don't have to put them all in one place. Just know that you have to have 100 shares when you're going to do covered calls. Again, I have a full training on covered calls. How do we find the stock? How do we find our strikes? Where do we go to look for them? What's our entry? How do we exit? How do we collect the money? How do we know what the money is? All those particulars are found in that covered calls training at my website. Again, I'm only showing you here how to do the mechanics on Robinhood, okay? All right. Okay, so here in this video, I showed you how to enter cash secure puts and how to enter covered calls on Robinhood. All right, I'm going to do another video on credit spreads, and that will be a follow on for this one. Feel free to follow me, Educator to Trader, here on YouTube. Like and subscribe. If you've got a video you'd like to see me to do, go ahead and put it in the comments or put it into one of the posts for me. Follow me on all the social media places and we'll get you what you need. All right. Thanks. Bye.